What's up fam? I am back with another video. What if Naruto was neglected before getting proper training part 1? So yeah, Naruto is kinda out of pocket in this what if. That's all I'ma say. The like goal is 6 likes. Hokage-sama, I think it's about time I helped him, a purple-haired Anbu stated. The Sandaime rested his head on his hands in shock that his strongest Anbu member wanted to train a genin and that genin out of all the others. And what brought this Neko? Hiruzen asked. Many reasons in fact. For one, I was one of the few who protected from the villagers and I've kinda grown attached. 2. I witnessed his so-called training method with his team and I feel like his talent is wasted on Hitachi, since the Cyclops will only train the Uchiha because the idiotic council. And 3, the most important reason, we owe it to his parents and ever since he was born no one tried to help him. No offense Hokage-sama, but the people at the ramen stand did a better job taking care of him. I know you want to protect him but you are doing it the wrong way. Let me teach him his mother's technique, he can learn them without knowing whose they are and we can pay the debt towards Lord Forth and Kushina. Neko offered. Hiruzen thought about this. It's true Naruto hasn't had a proper teacher or anyone to look after him. Even if he had to admit with proper training, the young blonde would be a force to reckon with. And him being trained by an Anbu would help even the odds. This might be the only thing he could do for the boy. Neko, take off your mask. The Anbu nodded. She took off her cat mask to reveal a beautiful purple-haired woman with brown eyes. Azuki Yugao, do you accept the S-rank mission to train Genin Uzumaki Naruto for the next year until the Chunin exams? Hi Hokage-sama, Yugao answered. And Yugao, don't speak a word of this to anyone. I'd rather have everyone who ever doubted the boy reap what they sowed. The Hokage chuckled. Hi, and Hokage-sama. Thank you. Yugao then shunshin away with a noticeable smile. Naruto's apartment. Naruto just got back from the wave mission with his team and was now boiling some ramen until he heard a knock on his door. When he opened the door, he saw a purple-haired lady standing there, but what confused the blonde was the familiarity he felt from. Then he remembered who this was. Neko-chan. Yugao was surprised he knew who she was without her mask but nodded. The next thing she was being embraced by the 13-year-old boy and decided to return the hug. I can't believe it's you. I missed you, ya know. I missed you too, but how did you know it was me without my mask? Yugao asked. Naruto gave her a confused look before responding. You know I'm not really sure. When you were at my door I just felt a warm familiar sensation coming from you. Yugao was shocked at this but she had to confirm it. Have you ever felt this sensation before? The ex-Anbu asked. Yay actually, it's like I know how many people are near me, but don't know who they are unless I've met them before, the blonde responded. Naruto-kun, I believe you are a sensory-type ninja. A what? Naruto responded, giving Yugao the cute little boy look that made her squeal in her head kawaii. You can sense people's present as well as their emotions. Anyway, do you mind if I come in? Naruto nodded and led her to the living room and gave her some tea. So Naruto, the reason I'm here is because I was assigned to train you for the next 6 months till the Chunin exams. The Hokage and I agree that training on the same team as Hitachi might be hindering, but we can blame the council for that. What do you mean? They practically forced Kakashi-san to train the Uchiha against his will, so I'm going to train you. You will still do missions with them, but only D-rank missions. I don't want you tired when training with me, and as an award I'll talk to Hokage and ask him to tell you a secret. Cool, so am I going to learn some kick-ass jutsu and maybe get Sakura-chan to like me? Naruto asked in excitement. Naruto, calm down, Yugao giggled. I'm going to let you know about your training. We will first work on your physical abilities like weight, strength, speed, endurance, and your chakra control. Second will be perfecting your chakra control. After that I'll teach you Kenjutsu. Yugao then pulled out some scrolls and tossed it towards Naruto. The blonde looked at the scrolls in confusion and turned his head towards his new sensei. What's Kenjutsu and what are these scrolls for? Yugao wasn't surprised that he didn't know what he was, considering all his instructors except Haruka was trying to sabotage him. Kenjutsu is the art of swordsman. In simple terms, just like how ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu have different styles when it comes to certain people, so does Kenjutsu. She then gave him a book. Why won't you look through this book and see what style interests you? Naruto took the book and started looking through it. After a few seconds he stopped on a page and his eye looked like it was hypnotized. He then looked up at Yugao with a huge smile. How about Kodachi style? That's an interesting choice. It focuses on speed and hand-eye coordination, plus you can dual-wield two at a time, without worrying about losing speed. That style will definitely help you if you have wind or lightning affinity. Yugao pulled out some paper from her pocket and handed it to Naruto. Pump some chakra into this and we can find out what your affinity is. Naruto nodded and did as he was told and pumped some chakra in the sheet of paper. He was surprised when the paper split in half. Yugao was about to speak but stopped when something unexpected happened. One side of the paper was soaked. The ex-Anbu was quiet for a while, then snapped out of her thoughts when Naruto spoke. Did I do it right? The blonde asked. Yes, Naruto. I was just caught off guard. It seems you have two affinities, one to wind and the other to water. Mastering one affinity is hard enough, but two. Even a chunin would have a hard time. Yugao explained. Well, what do I do? From what I've seen, you learn the Kage Bunshin Jutsu. Naruto nodded. Good, now make a clone. The blonde did as instructed and made a clone. Yugao made one and the clone dragged the Naruto clone to the bathroom and closed the door. After what felt like 15 seconds, Naruto started to blush and turned to Yugao. Why did you do that? Do what? Why did you kiss me on the cheek? How do you know I did that? What do you mean? Naruto's eyes shot wide open. How did he know? The clone got kissed, not him. Then he realized, I have his memories. Exactly, so if you read a book or practice chakra control, the memory and experience will be transferred to you. Yugao explained. The purple-haired Jonin then took out another scroll and pulled out what's inside, which was revealed to be chakra weights. Put this on your arms and legs. This will increase your physical prowess, and every time it starts to feel light, pump some chakra to increase it. And never take them off unless you're sleeping, showering, or if I say so. Naruto strapped them on, and the moment he did, the weights started glowing blue. Then he fell to the ground. It took a while for Naruto to stand up. Yugao was chuckling a bit. If you train in those, then you'll become stronger. Now tomorrow morning we'll start your chakra control exercise. And I'm aware you know the tree climbing exercise, but you, or should I say your clones, are going to repeat it while sticking leaves to them. Great. After I get strong enough to beat Tem, Sakura-chan might start to notice me and give me a date. Naruto said excitedly. Yugao put her hands on his shoulders, drawing his attention towards her. I'm going to be honest with you, Naruto-kun. I think you should give up on Haruno-san. Naruto looked heartbroken. I think you're too good for her. I see the way she treats you, and I don't approve of how she uses you to heighten her own ego. You're not an idiot because you want love, and you are an angel for trying to make her happy, but I assure you that there are way better girls in the world. Do you understand? Naruto was sad, but even he couldn't deny the truth. Alright, I'll try to move on, and who knows, I might find someone better. Yugao nodded with a smile and sent Naruto to bed and gave him a schedule. She gave him a kiss on his forehead and left. 2 weeks after Naruto started training, his chakra control and sensory abilities went up. She had Naruto's clones to study Fuinjutsu, and for some strange reason Naruto was picking up rather easily. While he was studying, his clones were practicing writing seals. Along with learning Kenjutsu and elemental manipulation, he was learning a new taijutsu style from a new friend. Flashback 1 week ago. Naruto woke up in a sewer. He decided to walk towards the end until he stumbled upon a huge cage. When he came closer, two big pairs of red eyes were glaring at him. "So my jailer finally comes to visit," the deep voice spoke. "So I'm guessing you are the Nine Tails." "That's right, but you don't seem afraid," the fox spoke. "Why would I be afraid of something misunderstood?" Naruto said. "What do you mean I'm misunderstood?" the Kyuubi asked. "I read about your history, and from what I learned, you were sealed in the first Hokage wife after being manipulated by Madara. So you were a victim." The fox was surprised. This kid didn't think of him as a monster, but how did he find out about his past? "If you wondering how I found out, there was some night when I was sleeping I saw your eyes looked like the Sharingan, and a Uchiha was riding on top of you. And after that everything went blank," Naruto explained. "So what now, are you going to release me?" the fox asked, getting his hopes up. "Believe me, I would love to, but if I do I'll die, but since this is my mind I'll do something better." Naruto closed his eyes and soon the scenery changed to one of a beautiful forest and a lake. Naruto was panting and looked up at the fox. "How is this? Why would you do this for me?" the fox asked, looking at the blonde. "Well, I thought since you're stuck inside me, we could be more like friends. I mean, neither one of us asked for this. So we might as well make the best of this. What do you say, friends?" Naruto offered a fist bump. "Sure, kid, and as a thank you gift I'll help with your training," the fox offered. "Thanks, Kyuubi-san," Naruto said with a smile. "Sure, kid, and by the way, the name is Kuruma," Kuruma said, matching Naruto's grin. Flashback end. Naruto was currently waiting for his teammates at Training Ground 7, standing upside down on a tree. His weight's 75 pounds each, reading an intermediate level Fuinjutsu book while leaves were sticking to him. After a few minutes Sasuke arrived at the field and it seems he didn't notice him, but Naruto just continued to train. Soon he felt Sakura's chakra signature approaching and soon she arrived at the field, approaching Sasuke to his dismay. "Hey Sasuke-kun, how are you this morning?" Sakura asked, but sadly she was ignored. Sasuke was just leaning against the tree Naruto was on with his eyes closed. Sakura started looking around like she was searching for something. "Hey, where is Naruto?" "Like I care," the Uchiha responded. "Yeah, you're right, who needs that baka?" the Pinkett responded. Naruto would have normally responded, but he remembered what his new sensei said. Flashback. Naruto, there are many ways to win a battle and one of them is emotions, Yugao said while doing Kenjutsu sparring with Naruto. "And why is it?" Naruto asked, panting. "Emotions like anger cloud your thinking and cause you to do reckless things or cost your teammates their lives." Naruto nodded. "Remember Naruto, you are in control," Yugao said, clashing with the blonde again. Flashback end. Naruto ignored the comment instead of making himself noticed. He continued his studies and exercise until he felt his sensei near, so he quickly put his book away and laid on the branch. Soon Kakashi arrived in a puff of smoke. "You're late," the Pinkett yelled. "Sorry, I saw a new book on sale and I was waiting in such a long line to get a copy," the Jonin explained. "Liar," Sakura yelled. "Anyway, are you three ready for another day?" Kakashi asked, confusing Sakura. "What do you mean, 3, sensei? Naruto is not even here yet," Sakura replied. Kakashi gave her an eye smile. "What do you mean? Naruto has been here the whole entire time." Sakura and Sasuke's eyes widened and started looking around but couldn't find him. They then turned to their sensei and saw he was pointing up with his index finger, so they both looked up to see their blonde teammate there, like Kakashi said, meditating. When did he get there? The Uchiha asked himself. He could have at least said good morning. Sakura said. Naruto noticed his team looking at him and decided to hop down. Naruto, if you were here the whole entire time, why didn't you say anything? Naruto turned to the girl, then did 3 hand signs and a puff smoke surrounded him. When the smoke cleared, another Sakura was there. Yay, who needs that baka? We don't need Naruto, Sakura said, before dispelling and turning back to Naruto. Does that answer your question, Sakura? Naruto asked. Sakura was surprised. Naruto never talked to her like that, and he didn't even add the chan like he usually does. Naruto, are you okay? I'm fine. He then turned to face her. I just did some thinking and decided to give up on you. To say Sakura, Kakashi and even Sasuke was surprised was understatement, but the blonde kept speaking. You told me you'll never go out with me even though I really liked you and treated you better than Tam. But all you did was shout at me and hit me. Well, if you want to follow someone who doesn't even like you, that's fine, because I'm not about to do the same. I just hope you're happy and don't regret it. Naruto finished, turning his face back to his sensei. Sakura didn't know what to feel. She was happy that Naruto was going to stop pestering her, but somewhere in her heart there was pain because she felt like she just lost the one person who thought so highly of her. Well, no, that's out of the way. Why won't we start off with a spar? Naruto, Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke approached the field with the Uchiha smirking. Ready to lose, Dobi? Sasuke taunted. Naruto didn't respond and kept his gaze on Sasuke, ready for the signal to start. Kakashi was surprised by the change of his student but initiated the battle. Hajime. Naruto charged at Sasuke with speed, surprising his teammates, but Sasuke smirked. The Dobi thinks he is better than me, I'll put him in his place. When Naruto got in his range, Sasuke cocked back his fist, getting ready to deliver a blow to the blonde Jinchuriki. Fortunately for Naruto, no one noticed his smirk. Flashback. Naruto and Yugao were at Ichiraku with Jonin explaining something to the blonde. Naruto-kun, do you know what strength and weakness are? The blonde nodded. Do you know what your strengths and weaknesses are? Naruto shook his head sideways. Your weakness is your chakra control, but that is because your chakra level is a size of cage, so controlling that much will take time. And we cannot forget your endless stamina. Because of your stamina you can wear out an opponent and strike him down easier. All you have to do is... Flashback end. Sasuke threw a fist at Naruto, but then the blonde surprised him when he jumped over the Uchiha, getting behind him and swept kicking. Before the Uchiha could get up, Naruto pulled out a kunai and pointed at Sasuke's neck. Give up. Sasuke gritted his teeth and smacked Naruto's hand and rushed him, unleashing a barrage of attacks. Meanwhile, Naruto kept parrying his attacks while moving backwards. Kakashi was amazed that Sasuke couldn't land a hit on the blonde, but no one was more shocked than Sakura. Kakashi-sensei, why can't Sasuke-kun land a hit on Naruto? The pink kid asked. Kakashi ignored his female student and tried to figure out why Naruto didn't bother to attack. Sasuke was seething. As he was attacking, he noticed Naruto was getting faster, so to even the playing field he decided to activate his Sharingan. The moment he did, Naruto smirked, which didn't go unnoticed from Kakashi. What is Naruto planning? From what I'm witnessing, it seems like he wanted Sasuke to activate his Sharingan, but why? Kakashi pondered. I see your little trick. You're using chakra to increase your speed to make you seem untouchable. Well, whatever you can do, I can do better, Sasuke taunted. Sakura was starstruck at Sasuke's so-called coolness. Sasuke-kun is so cool, he saw right through Naruto's trick and now he's going to win, Sakura squealed. Naruto just smiled and added more chakra to his step to increase speed, while Sasuke did the same, still trying to land a blow on him, but his attacks were still being blocked and avoided. Why would Naruto use more chakra to increase his speed? It's not like he could hide now from Sasuke now that his Sharingan is active. If this continues, Kakashi's eye widened when he realized what Naruto was planning. If I'm right about what he's doing, then this fight is over. A few minutes later, after Sasuke activated his Sharingan, he was panting while gasping for air. Naruto was waiting for this. He charged Sasuke and went for an uppercut, and being too tired to dodge, Sasuke took it head-on, was sent in the air. Naruto then leapt in the air and kicked Sasuke in the stomach, sending him to the ground unable to move. Kakashi walked in between the boys, analyzing both of them before raising a hand towards Naruto. Winner is Naruto. Sakura's mouth was wide open. Naruto beat Sasuke in 2 hits, while Sasuke couldn't even land a hit. Naruto won, but how? Sasuke is an Uchiha and had his Sharingan. I don't understand. Sakura said out loud. And that's why he lost, Kakashi said, walking back towards the girl with Naruto at his side. What do you mean? When Naruto first charged Sasuke and dodged his attack, then delivered that low sweep and had him pinned. He knew Sasuke would try to strike back, and just like that he started leading Sasuke on. He added little chakra to his feet to dodge all Sasuke's attacks, waiting for him to use his Sharingan. And the moment he did, Sasuke, he started to copy Naruto, and by doing that, Naruto's victory was secured. I still don't understand, Sakura responded. It's simple, Sakura. Sasuke lost because of his stamina and chakra exhaustion. I'm sure you're aware of this. Naruto most likely has more chakra than me, you and Sasuke combined. So even though he started to use chakra to speed up first, he was barely making a dent in his reserves. And even though Sasuke wasn't using chakra, he was getting physically exhausted chasing after Naruto, and after he figured out Naruto's trick and started to mimic him. Naruto added more chakra to his steps and Sasuke did the same. Unknowingly to Sasuke, he was running out of chakra faster than Naruto was using his Sharingan at the same time. So basically Naruto uses Sasuke's own Sharingan against him, Kakashi explained. So Naruto only won because he tricked Sasuke-kun. If it was a test of skill, there would be no way Naruto could. Not true, Sakura, the blonde spoke. If I went on the attack in the beginning, I probably would have won sooner. With my stamina and chakra level, one wouldn't have given Sasuke no room to do anything. Naruto finished. But Sasuke-kun has Sharingan, Sakura replied. And I still beat him, so face it, Sakura, no one is invincible. Now, calm down, Naruto. Good job on winning your spar, and utilizing your strengths to your advantage. Let's head to the Hokage Tower, grab a D-rank mission, then take a break after Sasuke is done resting, Kakashi said. No, the 3 turned to see Sasuke get up. I want a rematch with the Dobi. I will not accept the fact he won that fight using a trick. Sasuke sneered. But we're shinobis, tricks is what we do, Naruto said, walking towards the Hokage office. Sasuke was about to retaliate, but Kakashi put his hand on Sasuke's shoulders, shaking his head, and they proceeded to the tower. Naruto, next time we fight I'm going to put you in your place, the Uchiha snarled to himself. Later that afternoon, after completing a couple D-rank missions, Kakashi gave everyone a break. Sasuke decided to go train some more, while Kakashi disappeared in a puff of smoke, leaving Naruto and Sakura alone. Naruto was about to follow suit and leave, but he was stopped when he felt a hand grab his wrist. He turned to see Sakura looking at the ground nervously. Naruto, do you want to go to Ichiraku's with me? Naruto's eyes widened and he had nothing to say, which made Sakura scared. I understand if you don't want to. And no, it's fine, sure, I'll love to, Naruto answered with a smile, which Sakura returned in full. When they both approached the ramen stand, Naruto and Sakura are greeted with a hello by Chuki and a hug by Ayame. Naruto then ordered 2 bowls of beef ramen. And Sakura was about to order vegetarian until Naruto convinced her to eat something more calories, which caused the pinkett to complain until the blonde, with the help of Ayame, explained if she didn't, she will grow up being as flat as a board, since she will have nothing to burn when she's active on a mission or training. The results were uncanny when Sakura ordered 3 bowls of ramen, being pork, beef and 1 veg. After eating, Sakura decided to speak. Naruto, I'd like to apologize. Naruto quirked an eyebrow and stared at the girl. I thought about what you said, and I really want to apologize. Why? Just so I can become her fanboy again. No thank you. Naruto thought to himself in doubt of the Pinket's sincerity. Even if you don't believe me, I truly mean it. I made fun of you, hit you several times without restraint, disrespect you. I've done nothing but mistreat you every day, and all you've done was support me and have my back when no one else would. Sakura stated as she clenched her fist while facing the ground with her eyes closed. A single tear began to make its way down her cheek as she pleaded. I'm sorry, Naruto, I'm so sorry. You're the best friend, no, the best person that I have in my life, and I've been taking that for granted. Naruto was shocked at the apology. You think of me as a best friend? The blonde asked. Sakura's eyes shot up and met Naruto's, her eyes filled with tears and pain. Yes, Naruto, I didn't before. I took you for granted and I didn't appreciate it. I never realized how happy you made me every day, every compliment, every effort to get my attention. I loved it all and I love having you in my life. Sakura said with both of her hands over her heart as if it was in pain. She was afraid to hear his response. Afraid that her apology would be rejected. Sakura, Naruto said, causing the Pinket to jump in fear. If you ever thought that I would stop supporting you, then you're an idiot for thinking that. I would never give up on my friends, and I will always have your back and give you my support every day. So don't ever think that's going away anytime soon. I'm still the same guy you've always known, Datbeo. Sakura's eyes blew, surprised that Naruto accepted her apology. He forgives me. No, I shouldn't be surprised, the Pinket thought to herself. Unconsciously she began to walk towards him. It's Naruto after all. Naruto's eyes grew as wide as they could with Sakura's arms wrapped around the back of his neck and kissed him. Naruto was surprised at the amount of passion and love that was in the kiss, but not wanting to disappoint, he returned the kiss. After a couple seconds the two separated and were out of breath. Sakura looked at what she had done and started to blush. I'm so sorry, Naruto. I don't know what came over me. Are we, still friends? Sakura asked nervously. Naruto smiled. The best. Sakura smiled and looked nervously at her empty bowls. So how was it? That was my first kiss after all. Sakura asked. Enjoyable. I'm glad I got the honor of being your first. Naruto answered. Great, and can we keep this a secret? It's not that I'm ashamed, I just still have feelings for Sasuke. Naruto gave a heartbroken look of defeat. But I think I'm starting to like you as well, Sakura added, causing the blonde to look at her. I just need time to sort things out. Don't worry, Sakura-chan. No matter who you choose, I will support you and we will be best friends till the end. Sakura gave the boy a loving smile, and after they were done eating, Naruto walked the girl home and decided to head home to train. Nice going, kid. You snagged the pink one, but she's just the beginning. But enough about that, can you sense that? Naruto stopped and concentrated to figure out what Kuruma was referring to. Then he turned to the direction of an eating district. It feels like sadness and loneliness. But it feels like the type of loneliness that I felt before we became friends, and I joined Team 7. Whoever it belongs to doesn't deserve this loneliness. Kid, you should try to feel the other emotions around the person. Naruto closed his eyes for a moment before reopening it. As that pheromones, lust, and it's coming from more than one person. I think I know who the loneliness belongs to. I heard of a kunoichi who was betrayed and treated wrong from Gigi. So I decided to look for her so I can make a friend, but I could never find her. Naruto proceeded towards where the emotion was, and noticed it was coming from a dango shop. When he went in, he saw a woman with purple hair in a fan-like ponytail, wearing a orange skirt, with a fishnet shirt and legging to match, with armor on them. But what caught his attention was her eyes. She was alone, and wearing a mask like he does. And to make matters worse, the lust he was sensing was coming off two male chunins. If I didn't know better, it would seem they're trying to get their dick wet and she's not willing. Scum like this gives men like us a bad name. I'm ending this. I'm with you, kid. Let's go. Naruto approached the three without them noticing. But what he heard next pissed him off even more. Come on, don't be like this. We just all want a good time, one of the chunin said. I said beat, before you end up in the hospital, with unrecoverable injuries, the women threatened. Who's going to make us? You lucky to even be wanted, considering who you are, snake whore, the second chunin retorted, making the kunoichi flinch. One of the chunin reaches for her wrist, but to his and the other one's surprise, someone grabbed his wrist and gripped it tight, causing the chunin to grunt and turn to the owner of the hand, who they saw surprised for a while, but it soon turned to irritation. What do you want? Demon brat, you have no business here. Actually, that's where you are wrong. As a Konoha shinobi, it's our duty to protect each other, not harass others. Now would you be so kind and leave this beautiful woman alone? Naruto asked calmly, with cold eyes. Or what? You know, I find it funny how you are protecting this woman. Don't you know who she is? She's the snake whore no one cares about. She'll sleep with any guy just to feel wanted. Ah, I see. Maybe you want a turn. Well, get in line, kid, the second one said. Naruto's hair covered his eyes and he was shaking. Anko didn't notice and was afraid that this kid was going to look down on her like everyone else. But she broke out of thought when she heard him mumble something. What did you say, brat? The same chunin asked. Leave her alone, or you'll deal with me. Naruto threatened with his crimson eyes and demonic voice, causing the two chunin to run and scream, while Kuruma was laughing in the back of Naruto's mind. While Anko was surprised that someone defended her knowing who she was. Naruto turned around and sat at the same table before speaking. Sorry about my gender. Those guys should be ashamed of themselves. Anyway, I always wanted to meet you, Anko-chan. Can I please get some dangos over here? Really, brat, why on earth would you want to meet me? If it's to get boned, you might as well. That's not the reason, I assure you. I wanted to be friends with you for a long time since the Hokage told me about you. Naruto answered. Anko was shocked to her core that she could possibly have another friend, but she needed to know why. You want to be my friend? May I ask why? Naruto signed and decided to drop his emotional mask. Look into my eyes and you'll get your answer. Anko was confused, but decided to test it out. What she saw in his eyes, her heart almost broke. This kid had the same eyes as her. Loneliness, be hated, abandoned, sadness and long for love. He noticed and decided to speak. As you know, I'm a Jinchuriki, and ever since I was born, I've been targeted for attacks and the villagers' hatred. One day I asked Gigi how come I was the only one that felt alone, but he said that wasn't true. He told me there was a kunoichi who's just as lonely, no parents and very little friends. I had hoped that I could find you, but he said you would be near training ground 44 and I shouldn't go near there until I became a genin, but to my misfortune I could never find you. Naruto explained. Anko's heart was racing that there was someone in this kami-forsaken village that wouldn't treat her like an outcast and went through so much trouble to find her. Anko was unsure what to do. But this kid wore a mask and dropped it for her, so she decided to do the same and let her true self out. So she reached for his hands and held it in her own, causing the blonde to look at her. What he noticed was she was sobbing quietly and looked at him with pleading eyes. Do you really want to be my friend? Naruto smiled with tears coming down as well. Yes, I do. She gripped his hands harder. You won't abandon me. No, I won't. And you're okay with me being the snake whore? As long as you're okay with me being the demon brat. Anko smiled and nodded. Well, it's good to finally meet you, hubby Haim. Anko blushed at the nickname and put on a flirtatious grin. Same to you, Foxy-kun. After the introduction, they start to get to know each other's hobbies and dreams. They even had a playful argument about what food was better between ramen and dangos. Anko however scowled when Naruto told her about how his team treated him and at Kakashi not training the blonde favoring the Uchiha. She was happy to hear that he made up with the pink head and surprised to find out the Yugao was training him a kenjutsu and other related techniques. So in honor of their new friendship, Anko was going to teach Naruto about stealth and assassination techniques and some snake-style moves. She also was going to get another friend who was a genjutsu specialist to help the blonde in chakra control. And in return Naruto promised to study more fuinjutsu to get the seal off Anko's neck, which caused the girl to hug the blonde, pressing his face in her assets, which she didn't mind. After the conversation the two bid farewell with Anko licking Naruto's cheek, which she explained as a way of marking him. Next day 8 a.m. Naruto was looking through a book of fuinjutsu intermediate level, while he had some clones around his apartment do affinity training. He needed to find a way to purge the seal of Anko, but first he had to understand it. From what Anko told him, all she knows is there is a slave seal and storage seal with Pitamaru genes in it, but the third seal was unknown. He was broken out his thoughts when he heard someone knock on his door. He released his clones and went to the door and opened it to find a beautiful kunoichi with raven black hair, red eyes and red lipstick. She was wearing a red blouse with bandages wrapped around her body. "Excuse, but are you Naruto?" the kunoichi asked. "Hi, who are you?" the blonde responded. "Before I answer any questions, do you mind if I come?" the kunoichi asked. "Ah, my apologies, to leave a beautiful lady outside like this is disrespectful. Please make yourself at home." The kunoichi blushed and walked in. When she stepped in she noticed the apartment was a lot cleaner than she thought. And on his porch he had a mini garden, not a hobby most guys would bother with. She then looked at his dining table and noticed books about fuinjutsu, taijutsu, kenjutsu, and chakra affinity. She broke out of thought when she heard his voice. "Do you want some tea?" the blonde asked. "Sure, thank you." He then brought a cup to her and sat down at the table with her. She then decided to introduce herself. "First off, I should probably introduce myself. My name is Kurenai Yuhi. You probably know me as the leader of Team 8. Hinata-chan sensei, what can I do for you?" "Well, first, I like to thank you. You probably are unaware, but Anko is my best friend and like a sister to me. When I met up with her yesterday night, she told me about what event went on at the dango shop, and she wouldn't stop talking about her new friend. As you know, she didn't really have any friends growing up and you made her so happy, it brought joy to my heart. So thank you, Naruto-kun." Surprising the blonde, she reached up and cupped his cheek, kissing it slightly, causing him to blush, and rubbed the back of his head. Kurenai smirked. He has a big heart and is very innocent. If he was older, I would probably keep him for myself. Not that age matters in the world of shinobi, the Jonin thought, and the second reason I'm here is because I was told you might need help with chakra control and genjutsu. I already know Anko-chan and Yugao-san is training you as well, but that doesn't mean I'll go easy on you. Naruto eyes widen and smile. "Thank you, Kurenai-sensei, I won't let you down." Kurenai smiled. "Kurenai-chan is fine, Naruto-kun." Hokage office. "Jiraiya, did you find her?" the old man asked his former student. "Yes, I did, but are you sure she'll come back because the Gaki is alive?" he questioned. "I'm positive. I have reason to believe that someone told her Naruto-kun perished alongside his parents. When I last messaged her, she wrote back saying she would have stayed if Minato Kushina or their son survived." Jiraiya was shocked at this. "Which means she was fed false information. I'll see if I can convince." Jiraiya was cut off. "No, you will tell her I order her to come back. Naruto needs her and she needs him. They both suffer from the loss of family. I've been lenient with her, but it's about time Tsunade and you too, Jiraiya, train the boy like godparents should. Here is an ordered with key feeling the air." Jiraiya nodded and disappeared. Yugao. The purple-head Jonin appeared from thin air. Bring me might guy. But guys, I am ending it here. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and that sub button. But I am out and we'll see you all in the next video. Stay blessed, guys.